Rising from the ashes, how one group is revamping this donated double wide.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU-8 News, first at 5.
Attorney General Chris Koster today filed a petition to remove the Montgomery County prosecuting attorney from office. Good evening, I'm Hillary Mullin. After a legislative break this week, Missouri lawmakers took off for spring break today. Spring break is symbolically the halfway point of the legislative session. Both House caucuses held news conferences upon adjourning this afternoon to reflect on progress made so far. The House Republican leader says he's proudest of the work done on various jobs bills, but Democrats say the job issue is their biggest concern. House leaders expect to discuss the budget when they return 2 Mondays from now. Officials said today the most common theft problem for farmers is missing equipment. The Livestock and Farm Protection Task Force announced it has recovered $2.5 million from rural crime investigations since August 2009. The Missouri State Highway Patrol, one of the organizations leading the investigation, says the most common problem in mid-Missouri are theft of equipment and materials on farms. The task force investigates rural crimes, including equipment and property theft and cattle fraud. It is currently investigating a case in Macon County that could involve $750,000 in missing cattle. New updates on the nuclear crisis in Japan, and the fighting continues across Libya today. KOMU-8's Ali Spilliards has those stories and more in your First World Report. Government data is now available to the public thanks to a veteran journalist working with MU's Reynolds Journalism Institute. David Herzog launched his Open Missouri website today. The new site is the latest effort from Herzog's collaboration with an organization that works to expose state and local government data. The editorial director of the Sunlight Foundation spoke at a day-long conference to address the importance of making government data more transparent. For a link to their website, log on to ours at KOMU.com. Usually we think about new mothers suffering from depression, but new research shows new dads may need help as well. Welcome back. Postpartum depression is usually associated with women, but doctors say 1 in 10 new dads can experience this type of depression as well. In a recent survey, about 40% of sad dads reported spanking their 1-year-olds, compared with 13% of fathers who weren't depressed. Experts are now learning more men need to seek help about the problem. Some doctors think kids aren't getting enough vitamin D, and it could be making them sick. Vitamin D helps in the absorption of calcium, but when kids don't get enough, they usually never develop strong bones. Researchers think it's because kids aren't getting enough sunlight, which helps the body make vitamin D. Experts plan on making new recommendations soon. A new study shows high blood pressure can slow down older adults. Literally. Researchers tracked walking speeds of more than 600 seniors over a span of 14 years. They found those with high blood pressure walked about 10% slower than their peers. Reduced mobility is often linked to an increase in falls, and about 1/3 of American adults have high blood pressure. Today at the Capitol, an emotional debate on abortion. And I'm Hillary Mullin in for Angie. Koster says prosecutor Lee Elliott broke the law by defending someone in a criminal case while serving as prosecutor. KOMU-8's Alex Hawley is in Jefferson City. Also today, the Senate passed legislation that would prevent employees from suing co-workers for on-the-job injuries. The bill also says that some occupational diseases, including ones caused by exposure to asbestos, are covered by the state workers' compensation system. Supporters of the bill say it will ensure workers are protected. Critics say the system would not justly compensate people who are suffering from occupational diseases. The bill now goes to the House for a vote. Today, a Missouri House member who Tuesday was taken out of the Capitol on a stretcher returned to work. Sylvester Taylor, a Democrat from St. Louis, complained of chest pains Tuesday. Today, he said doctors diagnosed him with diabetes and that his heart is fine. Taylor has some advice for his fellow lawmakers. Get regular checkups.
You think of banks, cars, perhaps jewelry stores.
And not necessarily cattle equipment and farm equipment, but a new task force has seized millions while protecting the farm. A big-time talent from a small-town school lights up Mizzou Arena. That comes after a statewide rural task force announced recovering millions of dollars of stolen farm property. KOMU-8's Taylor Overschmidt took a look at the progress of the task force. Federal prosecutors filed motions to seize an Egyptian mummy mask from the St. Louis Art Museum. The motion also seeks to prevent the museum from doing anything with the mask while a court decides the issue. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports the federal government believes the mask was obtained illegally from Egypt before being put on display at the museum.
March Madness is here.
That's right, and madness reigned inside the Divine Pavilion as eyes were on one famous tiger.
Snow one day, gone the next.
Next up in tonight's photo finish, a casualty of the warm weather. First up in tonight's photo finish, the fall of a snowman. Nancy sends us the snapshot of a snowman she made Monday. Well, it didn't last long. Just a day later, check it out. The snowman is almost gone. The warm weather melted it in less than a day. Bad for the snowman, good for everyone who is so sick and tired of the cold weather. Send us photos and the stories behind them. We'll put them on KOMU-8 News at 5 and 6. Just email them to share it@komu.com.